Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of the 20s Leadership podcast with me, Lawrence McClelland. And today I'm extremely excited and motivated from an event I was at this weekend, and a topic that I want to talk to you all about that I feel is extremely important to be aware of and acknowledge during every day of our lives. Now, this aspect is all about embracing change, but I like to call it moving with the cheese. Now, you might be thinking, what are you on about, Lawrence? But there is a very famous self development book called Who Moved My Cheese? And it is completely surrounding the topic of change and how we view, perceive, and action when change is something that we face. So, if I'm ever talking about moving with the cheese, or if anybody's moved my cheese, or probably anything to do with cheese, it's probably going to be about embracing change. But it's such an important topic and aspect to, again, like I said, make ourselves aware of and actually embrace on a daily basis. Because the fact of the matter is that nobody likes change, likes real change, likes change when it happens to them. But at the same time, a lot of people, ourselves, the people around us, they strive for change. They wish for change. They wish for positive change in their life. And this is where we need to bridge the gap between not liking it and wanting it. We need to embrace it. And this is why we need, from now, to be thinking about how do we perceive change? How do we act? How do we truly act when change is upon us and we are aware of it? There's many great things about change that in my recent life have happened, that I've witnessed in others and in areas around others' lives that have been fantastic. But we need to think of all the different aspects of people when it comes to change. And where do you fit into that sort of area? In the book Who Moved My Cheese, there are some great examples of different people, personality, character trait wise, that are explained in the book. There's the ones from anything from not wanting change and not doing anything about it and refusing to do anything about it. There's the ones that start off like that and then understand the positive impact of change. And there's the ones that almost just get their head down and go for it. They sniff out change. They go and find change. They have this optimism about them that they're going to go and find something positive. And they just go, they just run with it and take it as it comes. Almost that saying of, if everything's fine, then you're in control, then you're not doing enough. You need to be doing more and more and more so that you're changing. Yeah, it might be tough and painful at the time, but progressing you for the future. And this is what excites me about this whole self-development aspect of this. Now, ultimately, what would be great is think of a time where you've been, you're facing change and it's not something that you really want to happen. You're either quite comfortable, you're quite, you know, happy where you are, and you don't see this change being a positive thing. It might be a previous experience that you are relating back to that you didn't like. So is this going to be a positive thing for you in the future? Or you could learn from any mistakes or experience that have gone. and act differently. But at the end of the day, I think probably from my experiences and the stories that I've heard around change, is the ones that adapt the best end up surprising themselves. They end up becoming these more rounded, more optimistic, more driven individuals when it comes to pushing on with career, with self-development, with exercise, with their general health. And this is so positive to be around, so positive to surround yourself with. And again, use these examples of when you face change in your life, bring it back to you. Think of a time where change has impacted on you, and what impact did it have? Obviously, a lot of you know my situation and my story. However, I think it's good to remind ourselves of, the sort of change that I've been through recently. Changing career, changing location and city, and having conversations with people. I find that this change has been one of the best things for me. I feel like I have more attuned energy with what I'm doing. I feel like I'm growing and learning a lot more in the last 4 or 5 months than I had done in maybe about a year, or I would even say 2 years. And this is because of the change that it's had on me. The really, really, really difficult thing is persisting with the pain. It's persisting with the environment when you're not used to it, you're not comfortable with it, you're still questioning why you're doing what you're doing. You've not reaped the rewards yet, you've not seen the blossoms, you've not gone from the caterpillar to the butterfly. You're still in that pain zone when you're first adapting. And the only piece of advice that I could give or utilize in this moment is you just need to keep going. You need to persist. There's obviously healthy and unhealthy change. This healthy change is painful. If it's unhealthy, it's when it's starting to affect your relationships. It's starting to affect your, your output on the world. If you're starting to become really cynical about things, and you're usually an optimistic person, then that's quite unhealthy. It shouldn't have a change to your characters or traits. It should be something that you can still maintain these traits despite the pain, despite the uncomfortable situations, despite not being in your comfort zone. And that's so, so important to realise. Now, just to finish up here with the topic of change, I would love to put it in this sort of sphere for you, or this bubble, for you to understand with. Now, a lot of us like to think about things and not really do much about it. Thinking doesn't do much. Okay, this podcast is something that you'll listen to and it'll provoke your thinking, which is great because that's a start. It's that awareness side of things. But I read a great quote today and it said, most answers reveal themselves through doing, not by thinking. So you need to get up, you need to take some action and discover your answers. What are the answers that are out there waiting for you from change? What is this change going to bring you? What opportunities is it going to open up for you? And this is how we need to view change. Opportunity. It's going to be something that is going to make you grow, even if it isn't something that you pursue for the rest of your life. And that's so, so important to consider here. Again, when it comes to this thinking versus doing, this listening and absorbing information as opposed to taking action, this is where the coaching side comes into it as well. This podcast will help a lot of people, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so happy that that's going to have a positive impact. However, coaching is doing. Coaching is taking action. Coaching is life-changing. And that's why I want to talk to you about coaching. I want you to accelerate your growth, to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and to develop yourself further than you thought you could ever develop. If you want to work with me one-to-one coaching, I can offer 1 month of coaching. I can offer 12 weeks of coaching. These are my sort of areas of strength and where I can make an impact with you to change your life, to change an aspect of your life, to improve and grow. So if you're interested, you need to contact me, you need to reach out, and we need to have a discussion first, because that's the start of it. That's the start of the action. And that's it. Your awareness on change has grown here. Your perspective will be altered. But you need to start thinking about the future. You need to start thinking about later down the line. And surrounding yourself with that positive perception of change. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode, guys. And I'm so glad that I could have shared it with you. If you want to reach out, let me know how it could be better. Please do. It's something that I'm always striving to do. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch up soon.